The House of Representatives has just passed a resolution which clearly and firmly states that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism, effectively smearing millions of critics of Israel's dispossession of Palestinians, including many Jews, as bigots. The Republican-written legislation passed with 311 votes in favor, including all but one Republican and 95 Democrats in support. 14 Democrats voted against the resolution, while the remaining 92 voted present. This is the most extreme step so far in an effort to conflate all criticism of the Israeli government's war on Gaza with hatred of all Jews, a war which has killed more than 17,000 people in Gaza, the majority of whom Israel admits are civilians. It's worth noting that the resolution doesn't actually contain any definition of the word Zionism, which leaves it entirely unclear what is meant when it says anti-Zionism. Most self-described Zionists can't even agree with each other on what the term means. Some Zionist factions argue that it simply means there should be a safe haven for Jews in the Middle East. Others, like Benjamin Netanyahu, argue that Zionism means that only Jewish people have the right to self-determination in Israel, including the right to push Palestinians from their homes in the West Bank to create illegal Israeli settlements. Others, who are even more extreme, say that Zionism means all Arabs must be kicked out of Israel to create a theocratic, ethnically pure state. Earlier this year, Israel's finance minister, a member of the ultra-nationalist religious Zionism party, said there is no such thing as the Palestinian people, and that they were an invention created in the 20th century to fight Zionism. Israel's security minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir, who was once a member of Israel's Kahanist party, says that one of the values of Zionism is to Judaize the Galilee with settlement and IDF soldiers and the security forces, which means replacing Arabs in the West Bank with Israeli settlers via military force. All of these, to them, are examples of Zionism. So if we take Congress's resolution literally, it is now considered anti-Semitic to speak out against any of these by some definitions. At the hearings that occurred in the lead-up to the resolution, the supporters did very little to hide its aim, which is to incentivize the punishment of those who criticize Israel's actions, particularly campus activists. Many of the speakers in support of the resolution mischaracterized the common decades-old chant, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free," which most pro-Palestine activists describe as a call for political freedom for Arabs in the West Bank and Gaza, who currently lack a state and equal rights. The resolution grievously mischaracterizes this as eradication of the state of Israel and the Jewish people. Representative Elise Stefanik, who's a Republican from New York, for instance, blasted college administrators as allowing calls for genocide because they did not consider the phrase harassment. Stefanik demanded that Harvard President Claudine Gay rescind the admissions of students who use the phrase. With the broad definition of anti-Semitism now officially sanctioned, it's easy to imagine that schools and employers will feel compelled to root out anyone perceived to have negative opinions about Israel. Comparisons to the McCarthy era are often overwrought, but it's hard to think of another time since then in which the US government so openly threatened to destroy people's lives for holding what they believe are incorrect opinions. For more news, visit the Current Affairs News Briefing at currentaffairs.substack.com.